नमस्कार दोस्तों। जब एक वैज्ञानिक का नाम हमारे दिमाग में आता है तो हमको लगता है कि एक ऐसा आदमी जो कि बहुत सारी डिस्कवरीज करे, बहुत सारी खोज करे और जो कि हमारे देश के लिए काम करे। तो आइए हम आपको एक ऐसे ही वैज्ञानिक से मिलाते हैं जिन्होंने देश की सेवा के लिए ऐसा ऐसा काम किया। अंडमान के आइलैंडर्स की जितनी भी जनजातियां हैं उन जनजातियों के बारे में, उनकी ओरिजिन के बारे में, और सबसे बड़ी बात हमारे भारत में कुछ ऐसे रोग पाए जाते हैं जो बहुत सारे लोगों के लिए मृत्यु का कारण बनते हैं। उन्होंने इतनी शानदार डिस्कवरीज की है तो उनके साइंस के बारे में आप जानते हैं। यू हैव द नॉलेज अबाउट हिज वर्क, बट देर आर सम क्वेश्चंस which are needed to know, to understand a scientist work life, how he has achieved it, what was his own goal, and how he has started to work in this direction. So, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Yaneshwar.
You are welcome in this show, which we are trying to make inspirational in a way that so that the budding scientists, the budding students, they should understand that how much a scientist has to suffer to complete a goal which he plans in the beginning of his life. So my first question to you is that because you have several important discoveries about the Indian population, their origin and their other things and diseases with your name. So how do you feel, because you are the one who has discovered that Andamanese Islander, they are the one who came first from out of Africa. So how do you feel about it?
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Yaneshwar, for interviewing me. And it gives me an opportunity to tell others about my research and many other things behind that. Regarding your question, that we all work for science, and some of the discoveries, although it's very big when we talk about it, but in the initial stage, we never know that what we are going to discover. So we have to start from the scratch. We cannot imagine some of the things, although we have hypotheses initially. But when you do the science, we never know. So what would be the outcome? When you find something very interesting, and for the first time the world to know about the Andamanese are the first modern human who migrated out of Africa about 65,000 years back. But that's just we understand something new, and we will be really happy to know about it. That's the first instant. But after a few publications, you get used to that. And one thing which I always keep in mind is that when you do something good, people would expect that you perform continuously like that. So that is always back of my mind, to do much better every time. I'm maintaining that, I hope, for the last 2.5 decades.
Indeed, sir. Indeed. Yeah. And sir, there was one discovery which has said that around 4.5% of the Indian population, they have 25 base pair of deletion. This is one of the best discovery of India so far. Many of the, even our late president has mentioned about it. So, because this is the thing which India should know. The people who are dying at 45 years, we know the pain of the families. So this is one of the discovery. And how did you reach to this goal about this discovery?
So this is one of the heart disease, cardiomyopathy.
Yeah.
And of course we collaborate with many scientists, young scientists, and cardiologists. So unless otherwise we collaborate, we'll not reach to that stage. That's why the collaboration is necessary. So once you start analyzing the genes that are involved in causing cardiomyopathy, then you extend it. We find that there's a 25 base pair deletion which was reported to be associated with the cardiomyopathy. Then we extend, keeping our population genetics as a background, to see how it is distributed all over the India. And we found around 4.5%. Then having good collaboration elsewhere, then we thought that let us expand this to other part of the world. So we looked at several countries, populations, and then we found that this 25 base pair deletion is restricted only in Indian subcontinent. Means that India and nearby countries, mostly the South Asian populations. So we also found that this mutation is very, very old, 33,000 year old
Yeah.
mutation. That's why it's got well spread across India.
Yeah, great, sir. So, sir, because being one of your student, we get the information from someone else. We never had any chance to talk with you about your struggle time, because before coming to CCMB, or even during your CCMB time, initial time, yeah, and also your family background was not very high profile. So how did you made your struggle, and how was your goal to reach to a certain stage so that you start working in this direction like a special train, express train?
So yeah, this is very interesting, and also many of them may not be knowing it. In fact, I born in a small village, and my parents were farmers. Only my father was up to 8th standard. My mother did not even go to school. So that is the background I started, and I used to work in the field. So until my school days, and even when I was in college, whenever I go back home, and I don't even spend some time on any other thing rather than helping my parents, just to go myself into the field and start working.
So farming,
Farming.
time, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that used to be my hobby and everything.
Right.
So in terms of struggling, so I never felt that it's a struggle, because I felt I enjoy doing that. I also, in a way that I was fortunate to have good parents, always support, so that although they must have faced a lot of struggle, but they never allowed me to do that kind of thing. They always supported my education. And also after marriage, my wife keep supporting, my children keep supporting, and I had a good teachers again in the schools, college, when I was doing PhD. So my teachers were always supportive, and even when I reached to CCMB again, I got a good support from a mentor technology and all the directors. So I never felt that I was faced any kind of struggle in my life.
Yeah. So, sir, because whenever anyone sees some kind of population genetics manuscript, and as soon as they see good picture, they say that it might have been made by Dr. Thangaraj. Even some of the international partners, whenever they see your picture, they always say that how come he learned to make such a nice picture in the manuscripts. So is there something, I mean, being a background of a farmer side, you never used computer initial days, how could you make such a nice and beautiful picture which appeals everyone? Even the papers which comes from David Reich lab, which comes from Kiwi Seal lab, you are there to make such a beautiful pictures. So what is I mean, there is something behind.
So there is some kind of inbuilt interest for painting. Okay. Even my school days, I used to do my record work, writing the title, everything with color sketch, with the shadow and all those things. And you may be also surprised to know that during my holidays, when I was in the school or in the college, when I go home, if there's an election, irrespective of, I don't know,
The party. Yeah.
So they ask me to, because they know that I write nicely, I paint. So I used to paint on the wall, write on the wall.
Yeah, wow.
Right? So that kind of thing which I used to do. Even my seniors during my MSc, so they used to ask me to do something for their PhD work. So those are things which I used to do. Later, I probably handle computer only when I joined CCRB.
Yeah.
And the first thing is with the Mac. So I used to try the painting and other things using the Mac.
Correct.
And then when you make the manuscript, so first thing which I always concentrate is the pictures, because somebody reads the manuscript, they see the picture and they should get impressed on that.
Yeah.
The picture should convey what we are saying.
Right, sir.
So that's why my paper and many paper you are co-author
Exactly.
were used to concentrate more on getting the very, very good picture. So then I started making it.
Right.
Even the nature cover, nature genetics
Exactly,
cover.
exactly.
So whenever I made, the editors, they liked it. So they took it as such without any modification. So that's the thing which I feel very happy.
Yeah, usually, sir, getting a cover picture of nature or nature genetics, even cell, is like a very big thing. And usually they have their own artists who make it. And you are, I think, the one of the best scientists who used to make these pictures, and they just accept it without any modification or without any comment.
And most importantly,
Yes, sir.
in at least these two big journals, Nature and Nature
right,
Genetics,
right.
I'm proud to say that I put India map on the cover of Nature and Nature Genetics.
Wow. Yeah, that's your love for the nation, and we are very happy about it. So, sir, there is a saying that behind every successful man, and there is a woman. So, how do you find the role of madam in your whole life and whole career?
As I mentioned, that the support which I received initially from my parents and after marriage, because we had, in terms of struggling the family with the children, all those things. So most of the time she takes it. So I don't remember spending more time with the children, more time there in the house, because most of the time I spent in the lab. So she used to take care of everything. Being working in the same lab, she understood my work concept, all those things. So without her support, I would not have achieved this much. Yeah, so I thank Deepa for that.
Wonderful, sir. Sir, there is one more thing that we have never seen you being angry. So, being a genetic scientist, did you switch off your angry gene, or what has happened? I mean, we need to learn this from you.
So nothing specific. That's how I have been, for the last
Right, yeah.
58 years.
Yeah.
So that's my nature. So even I get angry, but I control. I don't show it.
Yeah, that's wonderful thing, sir. We all your students, they keep on asking these things. So I think this is the right time to ask you. And many of the students, they keep on asking about you, your research work, and your lifestyle. So the world is changing very fast. And what is the key thing you wanted to tell to the students, like particularly to my students? They are very much interested in your work. When they read, when they see the pictures, they become amazed, and they just wanted to see you are like a celebrity for them. So what special thing they should do? I mean, they cannot reach up to your level, but at least they can be a good scientist and work like you, and then I also do something for the nation.
No, that I don't agree with you that they will not reach to my level, but I always wish everybody to go beyond whatever I achieve. So with that concept, I want to highlight few things for the young generation, not only for the student or even the faculties. So hard work is very, very important. So one has to, unless otherwise you put hard work, it's never easy to compete the world. Okay, that's one thing. The second one, we cannot complain that I don't have this, I don't have that, therefore I could not do this work. Okay. So it's always better for doing things whatever you have with you. Okay, start with that. And if you don't have something, you can collaborate. Okay. So nobody can say that I don't have this equipment, this consumable, therefore I could not do it.
Correct.
One can always make attempt to do with existing one, and if you don't have anything, you can always collaborate with your colleagues or within the institute, outside institute, or outside the country. So that's another thing that we cannot, another thing that one should learn, that without complaining, start working.
Correct.
So these are the two things: hard work and keep working with what you have with you.
And so your late night working.
Yeah, my late night working, it started during my PhD days. So if I tell little bit of story behind
Yes.
me joining here,
Right.
is that I joined my PhD in 90 or 91. Then there was advertisement for scientist B in CCMB. My guide one day came to me and he asked, did you see the advertisement? And there was advertisement in the employment news those days.
Mm-hmm.
You apply for that the job. I just completed only 2 years of my PhD, 1.5 years. I don't know. Yeah, 2 years. And I didn't take it seriously. That keeping in mind that whosoever does complete that PhD in genetics or any other subject in postgraduate basic medical sciences is a part of Madras University.